You read the title of that video correctly. 60% of Americans nowadays are feeling lonelier than ever. Social skills is one of the main reasons why. And the reason is, for a big part of it, social media. And there's different parts of this, but basically, social media nowadays has made people so overly consumed with dopamine because they have these apps like TikTok, for example, where you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you have these quick dopamine fixes, and you just have so much attention, so much activation of your neuron cells in your brain, and so you just have such a high feeling of euphoria, right? So then you get off this screen and then you go do some real world stuff, and then there's no constant dopamine hit, and you're thinking to yourself, man, this is boring. So when you're having a conversation with somebody in person, you're not thinking, how can I talk to this person? How can I be more interested in this person? You're not thinking long term. You're just subconsciously waiting for some sort of dopamine hit to come by your way. And this is why things like social media have been so bad for the new generation, especially because everybody's expecting these constant fixes and these constant hits of dopamine, and it's just doing nothing for the actual health of the human being when it comes to social skills, actually going outside in person and talking to somebody, making a deep connection with somebody, thinking long term with somebody, because you're so focused on the short term. It also affects your social skills because social media has made us way too comfortable. We're so comfortable with just sitting on our asses, doing absolutely nothing, going on our phones and or maybe video games, whatever it might be, watching TV, just sitting there, just doing absolutely nothing, no care in the world. These are all distractions, guys. These are made by the big tech companies that want to profit off of your attention so that they can make more profit at the end of the day. These are sources of cheap entertainment that really, they just want your attention. That's what it is. And when you start to value your attention, the more you start to actually put some self-respect towards your own attention as a human being, then the more you realize that you have less time to allocate to these cheap distractions, these cheap fixes of dopamine that are actually not doing anything for you in the long term. You'll be thanking yourself down the road as soon as you start to be more aware of this. And I got a handful of solutions here too, because I actually used to be like this too. Not even a little over 2 years ago, I used to be sitting in my room all day, just playing video games, scrolling on social media, doing just lame stuff on the internet, not going outside, not talking to people. See, networking is so important nowadays, and people don't understand that as much as they need to, because it's not necessarily what you know in this world, it's who you know, but as proxy of that, who you know and what they know. So you have to have these connections with people to really go somewhere in your life. You'll just be surprised. It's not even necessarily the direct motive of knowing people so you can benefit yourself, but knowing people to actually share deeper connections with people and actually have more bonds with other people. And as a byproduct, you'll have a lot more connections and somebody that can do a favor for you. This person can do that. So the beauty of networking is just something that nobody, in my opinion, should actually look over. So for our solutions here, everybody knows nowadays identifying about what you are is something that is, very common in our culture, right? But let me tell you guys, identifying as a calm extrovert, those two words have been something that has helped me subconsciously and consciously just become a lot more social, a lot more open with people. Just knowing that, because I used to be an introvert, and I realized that out of both of these two things, being an extrovert, a calm extrovert as I call it, is a lot better for somebody, at least for me, because as an introvert, I was somebody who just didn't feel the need to go and talk to people, and I realized that there were a lot of opportunities that I was actually missing. So it was only when I started to incorporate this idea in my mind of identifying as a calm extrovert that I realized within myself that yes, I'm more of a chill, laid-back person, and I don't always like to go out to speak to people, but I enjoy speaking to people, and I enjoy taking the initiative. So the first thing is identifying as a calm extrovert. The second is taking initiative. This is the thing, because let's say you're sitting in a classroom at school, and you have everybody who is new. Let's say the first, second day of school, whatever it might be. People are looking around like, I don't know this guy, this is a new place, this guy looks weird, this guy smells funny, this girl isn't attractive, whatever it might be, right? So like nobody has like good relations with anybody on the first day of school, or even in just a public setting in general. So it's good, always good to be the first person to stand up, make the move, take the initiative, introduce yourself. Anytime, let's say like I meet somebody at the gym, right? They're gonna ask me, or I ask them, how many sets you got left on that machine? So-and-so says, I got this many sets. And I say, okay, I'm Dylan, by the way, nice to meet you. And I go to shake their hand. I'm so-and-so. And because of that, over time, you meet one person a day, at least, you're going to have a huge amount of connections at the gym. And I've done this, and I already have quite a few people that I know at the gym that I didn't even know just 3 days ago. So, and it's just been the past few months that I've been doing this, and I know practically everybody at the gym. So it's things like this where you just go and take the initiative, and you go and just like speak to the person, introduce yourself simply. You don't have to have some high set goal in mind, just simply introduce yourself, because they don't know anything about you. So they don't know if you have this sort of self-conscious negative thought about you where you think, oh, my nose is too big, or my eyes are too small, like whatever it might be, right? Like, they don't care, they're doing their own thing. So just go and speak to them, and you make a new friend. After identifying as a calm extrovert and taking initiative, the third thing I learned was to use binary thinking. It's no in between, it's yes or no. Are you going to go up? Are you going to approach that person? Are you going to talk to them, introduce yourself? Or are you just going to stay quiet? Are you going to choose to actually progress, or are you just going to regress? Because that's what it is. It's binary. You're either going to go up to that person, approach them, or you're just not going to talk to them. So you got to choose one. And for me, I know that it's going to benefit me in the long run if I just go and introduce myself to that person. The way I see it is, it's a social skill, right? These are social skills we're talking about. So you're getting XP if you think of it as like a video game. If you are somebody that used to play video games in the past, XP or experience points in a video game, you get social XP for every interaction. So the more social XP, the more of a social skill you have. So that concept has been very motivating for me to just go out and get as much social XP as I want to get, because I just think to myself that, okay, I want to talk to as many people as possible and make whatever connections and see what new friends I can make. So it's just something that's been very beneficial for me when I start to think in this sort of pattern. The fourth option is just putting yourself in more scenarios that have more people in them. Simply just going into more public places. I know this sounds obvious, but people just don't even actually take action in this. But actually going out into public places like parks or malls or whatever it might be, and actually going around and seeing who you can speak to and what people you can make friends with, it's a great way to just meet new people in general. You'll meet like all sorts of people that you've never even known before. It's a very obvious one, but people just don't take action. These are the 4 things that have helped me significantly with just social skills in general. But it's all about taking action at the end of the day. So if you guys just want to watch this video, not actually incorporate any of this, then that's up to you. You know, I'm not going to penalize you for it. Obviously, I couldn't do anything if I wanted to, but I say this to say that I want to help you guys with your social skills. And that is the point of today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please like. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next.